them all what I'm made up. Strut down the hall, won't stop till I get enough.
Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're getting into some significant testimony from the federal trial involving Sean Diddy Combs.
Yeah, specifically focusing on what a former assistant, George Kaplan, said in court. Our source is mainly a People article that came out May 21st, detailing his testimony from, I believe, the 8th day of the trial.
Right. And our mission here, for you listening, is to really pull out the most intriguing bits from what Kaplan said, trying to get a clearer picture of, well, how things operated around Combs, at least according to this testimony.
Okay, so first up, Kaplan talked a lot about hotels, arranging stays for Combs in places like L.A., New York, Miami.
And it sounds like it was often really last minute, like just a few hours notice sometimes.
Exactly, which suggests a pretty unpredictable schedule. And not just booking any room, Kaplan mentioned getting very specific, exacting instructions.
From Combs himself or his chief of staff, Christina Coram.
Yeah, about how the room needed to be set up. It was about creating a specific environment, it seems.
And certain hotels kept coming up.
He mentioned the Intercontinental in L.A.
Which, of course, is the site of that elevator incident involving Cassie Ventura that we've all seen.
Right. That detail definitely hangs in the background here.
Right.
And also the Trump International Hotel and Tower in New York. Preferred spots.
Okay, and then there was the alias, Frank Black.
Used for booking these rooms. Standard practice for privacy, you might think.
But the origin is interesting too, isn't it?
Yeah, apparently it's a play on Frank White.
The notorious B.I.G.'s nickname, Biggie Smalls, one of Combs' biggest early artists at Bad Boy.
So it's doing double duty, kind of. Protecting from fans, trying eyes.
But also linking back to this huge figure from his past. It's quite layered.
Definitely. It points to that complex relationship public figures have with their own image and history.
Yeah.
So under this alias, Combs would arrive, and Kaplan had more to do than just book the room. He mentioned unpacking a go bag.
Ah, yes, the go bag. What was supposedly in it?
Well, the list included clothes, a speaker, candles, liquor.
Okay, setting a mood maybe, but then also baby oil and Astroglide.
Right. Those items stand out.
And Kaplan testified he often bought these things himself, using a corporate credit card.
Yeah. Which, the mix of items is revealing. The liquor and candles point to maybe wanting a certain atmosphere.
And the other items, the baby oil, the Astroglide, suggest something more personal, more intimate.
And being facilitated by staff, paid for with company money, potentially. It does blur those lines, between the professional and the very personal.
And his job didn't stop there. Kaplan said Combs would call him frequently once in the room.
Asking for things.
Like food, clothes, and Kaplan said sometimes drugs.
He was quite direct about it in his testimony, admitted, I did it, and I picked up drugs for him.
He also mentioned Combs having a toiletry bag that apparently contained Advil and ketamine.
Yeah, that's a significant admission. Procuring drugs adds a whole other legal dimension to the picture being painted in court. And the ketamine mention, even next to Advil, it certainly catches your attention in this context.
Definitely. Then there was something I found particularly unusual, the cleaning.
Ah, right. Kaplan said he cleaned the rooms, not the hotel staff.
Why? He said he saw lots of empty bottles, Gatorade, liquor, often baby oil.
And his reason, he explained, it was sort of implied, that protecting him and protecting his public image were really important.
Wow. That speaks volumes, doesn't it?
It really does. It suggests this deep-seated culture of image management, where even cleaning up becomes this act of protection or shielding, that it fell to him, the assistant.
It makes you wonder about the pressures involved, the expectations within that inner circle, loyalty, maybe fear.
Yeah, it's hard to say exactly.
And we have to keep reminding ourselves this is all testimony given during Combs' federal trial.
Day 8 specifically, he's facing extremely serious charges. Racketeering, sex trafficking, transportation for prostitution.
And he has pleaded not guilty to everything.
Right. And this comes after Cassie Ventura testified for 4 days. Her testimony included really disturbing allegations of physical abuse and being forced into sex acts.
The stakes are incredibly high. Potential life sentence if convicted. He's currently detained too.
At the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn, yeah. It underscores the seriousness.
So let's try to piece this together. Kaplan's testimony gives us these detailed hotel arrangements, the alias linked to Biggie.
The specific contents of the go bag, the errands that he says, included getting drugs.
And this really strange duty of cleaning the rooms personally to, as he put it, protect the image.
It all seems to point towards this intense, maybe obsessive effort to control the environment, control the narrative, and maybe hide certain activities.
Exactly. So thinking about all this detail, the level of control described, the specific requests, the unusual tasks like the cleaning, it really makes you think, doesn't it? What does this tell us about the machinery around massive fame and influence?
Yeah, what kind of bubble gets created? And what are the pressures and maybe the compromises for people working inside that bubble?
How far might people go to maintain that public persona? It's a fascinating and maybe troubling question about power.
It really is something to mull over.
And just before we wrap up, a reminder, if you or someone you know needs help or support regarding sexual assault, resources are available. You can call the National Sexual Assault Hotline at 1-800-656-HOPE. That's 1-800-656-HOPE. Or you can visit the RAN website at rain.org. That's RAINN.org. Thank you for joining us for this deep dive.
Sound the alarm. I'm coming up. We'll have a ball. I'm sweet like a buttercup. You're Barbie doll. Show them all what I'm made of.